Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things nerdy through a common sense lens. And boys and girls, history doesn't just repeat itself, it also rhymes. And this has all happened before, and it will all happen again, because color us shocked there, Warner Brothers Games out there is firing a whole bunch of employees after the woke-ass Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League flopped miserably with fans and gamers all across the world. I mean, it was literally not even a year after this game was released that they had decided to announce that it would all be coming to a close. All of the DLC is over. You will not be getting anything else from this game. They are shuttering it all down. And why wouldn't it be? This game was nothing more than a disastrous dumpster of an idea right from the beginning. The idea that this C-list group of villains could go out there and take on and take down the greatest force in the DC universe was asinine to begin with. And all of the audience and all of the fans decided to make their voices very much heard by tuning off and tuning out this game. And of course, not to mention all of the woke diversity, inclusion, and equity nonsense, the heavy influence by Sweet Baby Inc. and I'm sure black girl gamers as well. Needless to say, this game was going to be a disastrous dumpster fire right from the beginning, and now it's cost Warner Brothers Games hundreds of millions of dollars, and now a bunch of very much most likely woke employees have now lost their jobs. It's almost like the chickens do eventually come home to roost and the cows do come home. Because as you can see over here from Bounding into Comics, following Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League end of content announcement, Warner Brothers Games cuts 99 employees from Montreal support studio. Oh, and I'm going to hear the comments, oh, why are you being so mean? Why are you picking on these employees? Why are you calling them woke? Well, boys and girls, as we'll find out here from this wonderful article from Spencer McCooley, that all of these employees worked in the quality assurance department for this game. Yes, all 99 of them, 199, all 99 of them indeed did. And the funniest part about this, Montreal, Canada is like the hub of woke gaming, okay? Sweet Baby Inc. is located there, Black Girls Gamers located there, a whole bunch of other stuff. It is literally like the San Francisco of Canada. So color us shocked there. It couldn't happen to a better bunch of nice woke cultists assholes to all lose their jobs because they decided to not only insult all of the DC fans and the greatest power in the DC universe outside of God himself, but you also decided to completely and totally interject all your diversity, inclusion, and equity nonsense. I don't know, making, of course, our dear sweet Mr. Freeze into Mrs. Freeze, a lesbian from another planet? Yeah, I wonder why the DLC isn't coming anymore. So we're going to check out this article from Spencer and Bounding into Comics, but before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Let us know what you think about all of this in the comment section down. Do you pity any of these woke assholes that are getting fired because of the insane decisions they decided to make with the quality assurance of this game? Or do you think probably there's a few of them that just decided to keep their heads down, keep their mouths shut, and wow, since they decided to fall in line with what the cult said, now they're losing their jobs too? Did you go out there and try the Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League? Because boys and girls, we've got a fun little factoid to you that we're going to bring towards the middle of the video. This game's on sale at a lower price than ever. Warner Brothers is desperate to recoup at least pennies on the millions of dollars they have lost on this game. Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. And if you'd like to support this channel, please check out the links in the description as well. So from Spencer McCooley and our dear sweet friends over there at Bounding into Comics, in what can only be described as the historically unpopular game, giving one last middle finger to the world before its demise, the recent decision by Warner Brothers Games to sunset Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League has led to a round of layoffs at their Montreal support studio. Oh, color us shocked. Who could have ever seen this coming? I can't wait to see what happens to Naughty Dog after their new game comes out. As previously reported on December 9th, saw developer Rocksteady Studios inform players that following the upcoming conclusion of the game's Season 4 and addition of Deathstroke to the titular team's playable roster, they would no longer be producing any new Suicide Squad content. And why would they? The sales were abysmal for the game. The Steam Peak players were absolutely ludicrous and laughable when this game launched on Steam. This thing was nothing more than a failure. And guess what? Quality assurance is responsible for that. You're the last signature before things go out the door. So yeah, you're getting exactly what you deserve. With Deathstroke joining the roster, the Suicide Squad's crusade against Brainiac is drawing to an end, wrote the developers in an official blog post. Season 4 will finish up with episode 8, which is scheduled to release in January 2025. That will serve as the last episode for Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. And this game was planned on going for a long time. I'm sure they had plenty of stuff on the drawing board. They would have shut this game down way earlier if it wasn't for the fact that it already had all of the season pass stuff already locked and loaded and in the can, just ready to release. Otherwise, they would have killed this game a long time ago. But hey, you know what? Might as well put it out there. It's already done. It's probably a better write-off if you do it that way than if it is if you just decide to keep it in there. But yeah, needless to say, there's a lot of people losing their jobs over this garbage. But far from just an end to the game's life service lifespan, this announcement also brought with it a great round of job cuts at Warner Bros. Games Montreal, whose team had provided various development and support work to the Arkham video game universe's latest entry. I bet they weren't any of the people that worked on the old Arkham games, and as a guy who's playing through the second one right now and already finished the first one, go check out those live streams if you haven't already. Those games are excellent, and they literally, like this Kill the Justice League game, not even close. I mean, it doesn't even deserve to hold the jock strap to those games. Coming from the same team that produced Arkham, that's why you know all of these companies have been completely infested and taken over by the DEI cult, because why else would they go from producing games like the Batman Arkham games to this hot garbage? I don't know. Something had to change. At first reported by Stephanie Dupis for French-language Canadian news outlet Radio Canada, on the same day as Rocksteady broke the above news, Warner Bros. Games undertook the elimination of 99 jobs from the support studios, whose readers may be best remember as the developers behind the previously and similar themed title live service titled Gotham Knights, which I didn't hear horrible things about, but nobody was out there jumping on it and wanting to play it all the time either. So yeah, probably didn't do all that well. Per the outlet's source, these layoffs primarily affected those employees working for Keyword and a Warner Brothers Games subcontractor responsible for quality assurance of video games. Yeah, wonder why all of those people are getting fired. These are all of the people that allowed all of the woke agenda stuff right out the door. They signed off on all of it. They said, yes, this is great. This is wonderful. It's going to sell gangbusters, because guess what? They're all a bunch of cultists too, and now they've lost their jobs. Oh, what a tragedy. Staff were invited into a video conference meeting on Monday morning, during which Warner Bros. Games Montreal announced that it did not have enough projects to provide them with work. I wonder why. Explained the outlet relying on information provided to them by an unidentified employee. We were offered two choices: talk to a counselor to find a new job, or put our name on a callback list for when there's work for us. But this second option could only happen in 2026. So yeah, next year, at some point next year. I mean, honestly, after the disastrous dumpster fire that was this game, why would anybody over there at the main Warner Brothers heads trust these people's opinions on anything ever again? There's a reason why these people's jobs are being eliminated. But it's not all complete and total doom and gloom right before Christmas, boys and girls. As their total staff consists, or at least did, of around 240 individuals, this move represents a reduction of roughly a third of the subcontractor's workforce. To this end, Dubious notes that the infected employees will have to leave the offices in 8 weeks. So literally, you've got another 2 months of employment that they are granting you. They are letting you know way ahead of time that what is going on and what is happening and everything else. And this is the funny part about this too. And when I talk about them recouping their money, as you can see over here from the gamer.com, and these are people that are completely and totally down with the cult and the spirit of the age and everything else. You can currently pick up Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League for less than $3. Yeah, if you're literally selling something for less than $3, I don't think there's really a lot of money left over to invest in any kind of future content. Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League price dropped to less than $3. Game Billet is selling the PC version of the game from now until January 2nd, 2025 for just $2.96. It's also on sale for Xbox and PlayStation, but not quite as cheap. And then one of our audience members out there who watches our live streams Monday through Friday at 11 a.m., Jim Bone let us know that even for it was either like a week or a month, this thing was free on the Epic Store. That's when he picked up a copy, because why not? It's free, right? It's not like we're ever going to play it, but boy, it's a hilarious piece of history to hold on to. Interestingly, it appears that the twin decision to shutter Suicide Squad and cut Warner Brothers Games' Montreal teams were made recently. As per report, at the team's most recent biannual meeting at the end of summer, there was no indication of possible job cuts. Oh, on the contrary, the studio emphasized that there would be enough projects to work on. Well, boys and girls, as a former chief steward of a union that represented quite over 100 aircraft mechanics, let me tell you something right now. Management is never going to tell you about a layoff until it is officially announced and officially determined. And let me tell you why. If for some reason that sounds shady or crazy or mean to you, well, let me give you the first force of little tidbit of information. Hey, management's going to lie to you. Why do you think unions exist? Second off, think about this from a management's perspective. If you tell everybody, well, things are kind of looking grim for work, we really don't have a lot coming down the pipeline, okay, or we know there's going to be most likely there's probably going to be a layoff, we just don't know exactly when, okay, immediately all of your productivity is going to go directly into the toilet. No one's going to feel like doing anything, and literally they're going to automatically start looking for ways to exit. So instead of you deciding who you get to keep in a layoff, you instead you might end up losing the only good talent you may, and I'm going to say that with a big may, still have left at your company. That's why management lied to them about this. Management knew the numbers of this game. Management knew the performance of this game. They knew there was no way in hell support for this game was going to continue. So guess what? They knew that they were going to lose a lot of employees. And now you see they are reaping exactly what they sow. Players were disappointed, he admitted. Warner Brothers Games should have pulled the plug on the game, and that's before it even came out. It was in development for so long and launched with a lot of problems. Not even the least amount of the one that they'll never admit to. The fact that this thing was a DEI-infested mess, from the heavy involvement of Sweet Baby Inc. to, I'm sure, a lot of influence from a lot of these other organizations that are related to them as well, plus all of the employees that they forced into these companies got hired into them by either trick, grift, or just figuring out how to turn management into another activist of their cult. And now you're reaping the benefits of it. Go woke, go broke exists for a reason. So that's what happens. You decided to walk down this path of diversity, inclusion, and equity. You decided to be filled with the spirit of the age, either lying to yourself, thinking that this would be broadly acceptable because we're on the right side of history after all, and now look where that finds you. Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League has been the biggest Warner Brothers disaster of a video game that they have had probably ever, if not in decades. I mean, there was hundreds of millions, most likely $500 million invested in this game. And then to come off where in 2023, Warner Brothers Games had the #1 selling game in the world. What was that? Hogwarts Legacy. You know what Hogwarts Legacy did right? Even you had a little bit of your DEI stuff in there. You had options body type A and body type B, right? And it's one of them situations where, okay, whatever. We're Hogwarts fans. We love Harry Potter. We love that universe. We're going to go in there. And you know what they did right? Unlike Kills the Justice League did, they respected the lore. They respected the environment. They respected the people that are beloved in those franchises, and they gave us an incredible story. What the people over there at Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League gave us, and these people over there in Montreal gave us, is nothing more than a bunch of DEI-filled, tear down the heroes, destroy hope, and make the villains the good guys. All they wanted to do was represent showing evil turning into good and good being evil. And now they're finding out that that's not how the world works. 2 + 2 still equals 4. God is still on his throne in heaven, and go woke, go broke exists. And now you're all fired. And that's how it's going to continue going on over and over again. We are going to see more of these games come out because obviously video games take a long time to be in development, and this infection has been in the industry for over a decade, if not longer, heavily influenced, especially in the last 5 to 10 years. And you are going to continue going forward with this kind of stuff. We saw the first signs of this with Naughty Dog and The Last of Us 2, and it has only grown exponentially worse ever since. And every single time this goes forward, we see the same thing happen over and over over again. This will not be the last studio. This will not be the last QA, and these will not be the last employees to be fired because they decided to dance with the devil, and now they're getting burned. You decide to go down this path. You decide to disrespect your source material, and most of all, you decide to disrespect gamers. Gamers and the audiences and the customers out there have been and always will be smarter than you. We decide what succeeds and what fails, not the access media journalists out there, and certainly not you people out there producing woke content thinking you're going to shove it down our throats like I'm sure you'd love to shove something else. Well, guess what? We reject that and we reject you. And now you're suffering the consequences of your own actions. So no, I do not feel sorry for a single one of these 99 employees because either you were a cult believer or you were simply a co-conspirator and laid down and took their nonsense, which makes you just as complicit. And now you're suffering the exact same consequences. When you sacrifice freedom and the ability to speak your mind for security and your job, you will lose both. And that's exactly what we will continue to see through the video game industry for the next several years. And after all, they did it to themselves, and they're getting exactly what they deserve. Thanks for watching.